I am going to attempt right now for the YouTube audience to do 40, okay, snorted, uninterrupted minutes.
Wow. Snorted.
40. I'm going to give the audience the
40,
purest
49
stuff.
minutes?
49 minutes.
Okay.
That's what I tell my wife all the time, too.
Yep.
Let's call it 50. Because it's 12 and a half times 4. Let's just say 50.
Round it up.
I wanted to call it 40, but now it's become 50. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to give you the pure stuff here on YouTube, the most dangerous stuff. You have no idea. With live stuff, a lot of things can go wrong. Now, I made this decision before looking at the crew I had today. And I've got a substantive problem because I've got Greg Cody in, and he just got done telling me, just seconds before we turned off the microphones, I think my wife is trying to kill me by overdose.
Huh.
That's a thing that happens.
I hope not.
Okay, thank you, Billy.
He's right.
But it's a bad crew. Billy is part of a bad crew. It's a bad crew because I got Greg Cody. You can't trust him. He can do bad things on live television.
You're welcome.
We've got Stugotz, who you're familiar with his work. We've got a video crew that is on and off with its judgment. But we've got a particular Billy today. And it is the Billy who is both thrilled and appalled that Tony is back, who both missed him greatly, but also hates him. And worst of all, Tony has 3 weeks of takes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
He also, first thing he did when he came back is he plugged in a space heater and knocked out the board and everything electronic in this room.
That's obviously false. I would never put in a space heater, dude. I've been in the heat in Italy and Greece for 3 weeks. I'm wearing Italian cloth right now. Like, what are you talking about?
He's got the look.
He
Got
does.
the look.
You know that look, right, Greg? You
man.
come back from Europe, and all of a sudden you think you're European.
I'm surprised he's not speaking with an accent.
He's wearing white linen pants. He is a walking, talking IG ad right
He
now.
is beefcake. He is beautiful, and we have missed for a lot of reasons Tony's top 5. We will send him elsewhere in the building to give us his many takes. But Billy, you have to understand something. It's really strange to me. Chris, can you help me as the glue guy here who understands and interacts with everybody, and nobody dislikes Chris, but the dynamic between Billy and Tony is the strangest thing I have seen in our environment ever, because Billy is appreciably happier when Tony's around, but I think it's just because Billy enjoys that someone's worse at this than he is.
He loves to undermine.
What?
Billy loves to just sneak in the back
Falsehoods.
door. Whoa. He does.
Billy, I wasn't talking to you. I have plenty of time to talk to you. I was pretty clearly asking somebody else for their appraisal of the relationship the two of you have, because Billy is so much happier than I've seen him since Tony left. But also, he behaves in a way that I would call, on and off air, cruel to Tony.
More falsehoods.
You said that, but I'm asking Chris Cody.
I agree with you, Dan. Billy, you have this thing where you're like, whenever you're super happy someone's here, you got to look a little past it because it's not for the right reasons. I don't know what you plan. You got something up your sleeve. You're wearing short sleeves, but you got something up there.
Tony, meanwhile, and there has been no one around here, no one more patient and just trying to make his way. And he accepts at every turn that Billy perpetually undercuts him. I don't believe we have. Tony's nodding yes, and you're nodding no, Billy. Please feel free. Tony, do I have any of this wrong?
No, you don't have anything wrong, Dan. You've never been wrong a day in your life. The day that I'm here, the first day I get back, I'm sitting, I'm having my protein shake, I'm watching things happen on the table, and then I got to get back into it. I missed the gym for the last 3 weeks. Impossible. Anyways, Billy walks up to me, doesn't say a word, looks me up and down. I'm obviously in the shirt. You can see it on YouTube.
You look great. You got more style than most around here.
With the Elo pants, okay?
The what?
Elo. Means linen.
He's dressed like a clown.
Elo pants. So he looks me up and down in the chair, doesn't say a word, but gives me the, hey, what are you doing? You look like an idiot. And I look at Billy and I tell him, hey, I was gonna say something nice to you, but you brought in this energy that I don't like, so I'm gonna turn my back. And then he said, what were you gonna say? And then what was the compliment I gave you, Billy?
He said you look thin.
Look thin.
And I said I don't believe it, but thank you for saying
He didn't say that to me.
Well, I mean.
Where are we, Chris? You side with Tony on this. Billy's objecting and he's saying falsehood, but Billy wears a very complicated disguise around here.
I side right where I stand, right in the middle. They're making a Chris sandwich right now. I love them both. Yeah. I like it though. I love the dynamic of Billy coming underneath Tony. Whoa.
Oh, the ham over here.
Pause.
Baby.
We will get in a moment to, I believe, the funniest and most catastrophic thing to ever happen to the New York Jets.
That's saying a lot.
Wow.
I just can't believe that Aaron Rodgers' entire Jets career is going to be one pass incomplete for 0 yards. That last night was, if you were indeed a scripted league, that is the most cataclysmic and funniest thing you could do to the Jets, to Aaron Rodgers, to Monday Night Football. Stugotz, the Jets won the game, and I will say to the entirety of the audience that their season just became a regional season. They just went from a national team to a local team, even if their defense is great. Right. And that scared little boy, Zach Wilson, leads them to 9-7. He looks like a scared little boy.
That's because he's scared. The Jets don't trust him. He does look scared out there. What an amazing turn of events, because you have that happen. I've been telling you guys forever, when you play for the Jets, you're not just trying to overcome your opponent. You're trying to overcome the Jets. The Jets are their toughest opponent. You are trying to come over and you are trying to get past 30 years of bad luck, of jinxes. We are the organization whose best coach should be Bill Belichick. It's not. It's a guy who had a foot fetish. Our best quarterback should be Dan Marino. It's not, because the Jets decided not to take him. We have the butt fumble. We have so many embarrassing moments. And when I tell you guys we're a tortured fan base, we expect the worst, and you laugh at me, I'm being serious, because these are the types of things that happen to the Jets. They get Brett Favre. It's the best 9-game stretch the Jet fans have ever had. Then he gets injured. You get Aaron Rodgers. Entire offseason, looks great, leader, hard knocks. We're watching it unfold. And then he gets hurt 4 plays in. These are the types of things that happen to the Jets. When I say I'm surprised Aaron Rodgers even made it to opening night, that's because I am. I was surprised he made it there. I'm surprised he didn't trip over a sprinkler at a practice. And here we are. And now, Dan, if you had asked me in that moment, are you going to be able to walk away with any sort of feel-good tonight? I would have told you absolutely not. Yet sports is so great because you have this guy, Xavier Gipson, who is a big part of Hard Knocks, who made the team, who cried, was emotional, called his mom right after. One of those stories you love. And that selection by the Jets was validated last night as he returned the punt for a game-winning touchdown. It was a crazy, crazy night. Crazy night. Tom Brady's still available, though.
All right, well, we're going to get to that in a second.
He's not available.
Well, he's available, Bill. I mean, he's not playing for a team right now.
No, but he can't
Conflict
own a
of
team
interest.
and then play for another team.
Oh.
Even though he showed up at the Patriots game and says I'm a Patriots for life, even though you've since been I mean, I don't want to bring Dwayne Wade into this, but he's since been a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Now he's an owner of the Raiders, so he's not a Patriot for life.
Let me again go back for a second, because I don't think you very often get what happened last night, not even from an NFL that is clearly scripted.
Josh Allen you're talking about.
Stugotz says he has some feel-good, but that is short-sighted.
1-0 today, Dana.
To have some feel-good about that. You became a completely irrelevant team the moment that happened. You cannot not have a quarterback in that league, and it's nice that you can wrap it in hope, but what just happened?
Those are great moments.
No, I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying in a season of 17 games, that is a cataclysm that will not be overcome. They have no Super Bowl shot. They started the season, they had one play, they had one throw, 0 for 1, not one play, one throw where the Super Bowl expectations collapsed on them. They no longer have those. You were saying 15-2.
We still have Randall Cobb, though.
And you still have Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson,
good.
He's great.
Yeah.
But man, is he going
Nathaniel Hackett.
He's going to get very frustrated this year. But Stugotz has for you a top 5 people who better not be my quarterback. A top 5 people who might be his quarterback.
Yeah.
A top 5 happiest people after Aaron Rodgers got hurt.
Yeah.
And a top 1 people most upset that Aaron Rodgers got hurt? We will get to all of those shortly.
Tony has top fives too, Dan, if you want those.
Oh, wow.
He's got a lot of takes. I have been told, Billy, the part that
He's got a lot of bad clothes too.
You keep saying bad clothes. You know what? I'm going to buy you this outfit so you can have some sort of style.
I would never. So I
can
saw
tell.
I saw pictures of him when he was on vacation, and
You know what? Hold on. Before you say that, I've got an issue with Billy. Billy does this thing on social media where he follows my wife and looks at her stuff.
you told me to.
Yes,
What?
but
Whoa.
doesn't
You told me follow my
listen,
wife. She's
respectfully-
upset that you don't follow her.
Took that bait, huh?
That is true. Respectfully, though.
Weirdo.
I understand what you're saying, Billy. But you don't look at my stuff when I post, which tells me that you have me muted, but then you look at me
You know what?
through my
I might-
wife's page.
I might have you muted.
I know.
That might be true. Let me check
I know.
that. He found out one time because I accidentally took a screenshot of something he did on Twitter that I had him muted because it shows the little mute button on the top and it was activated. And I forgot that I had him
That
muted.
deeply hurt me.
Yeah.
Outside of bit, that
It
deeply
was
hurt
kind
me.
of funny.
Chris Cody, I've got 2 questions for you. 2 questions. One, are Billy and Tony friends? Yes or no?
I'm not really sure,
It's
actually.
a yes or okay.
I was just during that last back and forth. I was like, "This is great. I like this little bit." And then I was like, "Do they like each other?"
right, so-
I mean, they've been flirting since they got together. They love each other.
Okay, okay. I wasn't asking you, but okay. Now I want because Chris Cody's in between them, the Chris sandwich. The other question I have for you, and this one's more complicated. Yes or no? Is Billy rooting for Tony to do well on the show?
That's a loaded question.
I think that Tony is like my younger brother that I don't have, and I try to look out for him, but I also try to, Tony's lacked some bullying in his life, and I feel like this is the role that I fill. I need to build
So you
some
feel like
character
you're the
in-
role that can bully me.
Yeah. I need to help you grow, spread your wings a little bit. You know what I mean? Steer you in the right directions.
Bully Gill.
That joke's been made.
Yeah.
Greg Cody is here, ladies and
He's
gentlemen.
feeling great. I mean,
he's not
he said
feeling
the Dolphins
great.
are going
No.
to the Super
Oh,
Bowl.
I am.
Yeah.
He's not feeling great. We will get to the Dolphins in a second. And that was a great contribution from Greg Cody.
He looks
Gill.
great.
Bully Gill, yes. Greg Cody has a lot to say as well because of that Dolphins victory. However, he's convinced his wife is trying to kill him by overdose. He is saying when you say he is feeling great, he is not feeling great.
Right.
He is saying here that he has to take too many pills. He looks a bit ashen. He looks like he doesn't have enough color in his face.
That's
The-
with makeup.
the
Yeah, I
color.
was
Well,
gonna say.
the only color that he has is makeup,
Yeah.
but it's like they've put makeup on a bunch of chalk.
Right. I can't lay down right now because I might look, like I'm not going to get up.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. Does Greg Cody presently look embalmed? Yes or no? At Le Batard Show. Because he does. I feel like we did not hire. We just hired a mortician, not a makeup person.
That's true.
He looked the way I imagine he will look in a corpse, in a corpse form in a coffin.
Yeah.
It will be fresh. Days later, it will look something like this.
And the least shocking thing, we always joke about this. I'm not lying. I'm looking at his computer. He has the megaphone. He's looking at the numbers for his
it's
latest podcast.
Totally inaccurate.
It's just he's just refreshing the numbers.
You
on
mean
his
the
latest-
Greg Cody Show podcast? No, it's just a coincidence that was on the screen.
How's it doing?
It's doing pretty well.
right.
It's doing great. But my wife, she's one of these people.
No, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. I'd like to stay here.
I got to get this off my
We'll
chest.
get there in a second, I promise. And I want to hear more from Stugotz on the Jets because I really do want his opinion. I want to hear, if I can't tell you how much I would have paid last night to have a camera on Stugotz and have him talking to get instantaneous reaction of how it is that he felt with that happening last
I
night.
started to get mad at Aaron Rodgers for merely playing in the Lake Tahoe golf tournament. I mean, what are you doing? If you have a calf injury, what are you thinking? Like, let's go, focus on football. There were some funny things that entered my mind. My daughter was at the game. My wife was at the game, and they were devastated. And I texted them an apology because they went there to see Aaron Rodgers. That's it, plain and simple. They went to that game to see Aaron Rodgers. And then I realized, hey, we got a game to play. We can beat this team. The Bills quarterback is terrible. And so I called Rachel and I said, do me a favor. Get the fans going. Get some rah-rah. And she's like, what do you want me to do, Dad?
You did not do that.
I don't
No, I
believe
did.
any of this.
And
Yeah,
did
no,
she? Did
FaceTimed
she?
her. Yeah, they were at the game. And I was telling her, hey, just let out a couple, let's go, Zachs. Let's rally for Zach. Like some of that. Get the crowd going. Let's go. We have a game to win here. We got a game to play. and she hung up on me.
Did you see, or Dan, someone actually had what you said you would pay for, and that was Dominique Foxworth, who was at Mike Greenberg's house while it was all going on.
I was texting him just for play-by-play. I'm like, what's Greeny doing? How is he? Is it funny? And he's like, no, it's kind of dark, actually.
I had so many people texting me, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Mike was not one of them.
It almost happened.
No one on this show sent me anything.
It almost happened.
Sorry about that,
It
brother.
happened too fast. It happened too fast. It was almost too fast to not, like, I wanted to laugh more at something like this, but it was so quick. I started feeling bad for Aaron. Injuries stink, but I wanted to laugh.
But we talked yesterday, right, about the Giants wait all those months for we got the coach now, and Daniel Jones is our guy. And sorry, Saquon, but we're not going to pay you enough, but we're going to really use that body this year. And you come out and 40-0.
Right.
Or the Steelers, you come out and you get 1 yard, and San Francisco has 199. And they're winning immediately, and you're like, oh, all those winning seasons. Yeah, we're not as good as they are. Okay, season's over. Like, we might win some games and stuff, but this feels terrible.
So
but it can't feel worse than that. That right there is as bad as it can feel to be the team of expectations when you're the hopeless franchise of don't hope there. Don't hope there. Don't have any expectations. And then to have the star quarterback, the guy who makes you go from not credible to Super Bowl kind of credible.
Yeah.
The best quarterback you've ever had, to have him last a pass.
Yep.
That was bigger than the Jets even. That was the biggest story in the entire NFL entering the season was Aaron Jones going to the Jets. And what will he do?
Yeah.
Or Aaron Rodgers, rather.
Yep.
That's bigger than the Jets. I mean, it's devastating. And I don't use that word often, but that's a devastating loss for the Jets. And I agree, they're nobody's team now. They're third place. They're going to limp into third place. They'll finish, 7-10, and that'll be that.
That defense is awfully good, though.
It's very good.
That defense can keep them in a lot of games.
Stugotz,
Quinnen Williams is a monster.
Stugotz, but don't forget what happened last year, okay? That was a Super Bowl defense you had last year.
Yes.
And the reason the expectations came with Aaron Rodgers is because it was like, well, you clearly have a piece that can win on the other side.
We have everything. Yes.
And you have a receiver, and that's where the hope and the expectations came from, despite the entire history of being cursed.
What are the rules for today? Because, we shouldn't laugh at an injury, but can we laugh at the situation? Because the situation is hilarious.
I got us on this.
While also not celebrating an injury.
We just, as a show, we should say injuries stink. Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Injuries stink.
But that was so funny, though. It's so fast. All the hype, Hard Knocks, and he just, whoop, I'm done. Done for the whole year.
Can't you just get anyone that's
You
not?
had the Jets.
You could get not Zach Wilson, though. There's quarterbacks out there. You have pieces. You could still salvage this season.
Yeah.
I think there's a ton of quarterbacks, including Tom Brady, by the way, who
He's
would
not-
love to play for the New York
All right,
Jets.
Stugotz,
I do.
did I just hear, you guys have to understand the creature that I'm working with here, okay? Because he's going to try and protect himself against what is an obviously horrible misery. He doesn't, for as impenetrable as he seems, nothing bothers him. This will bother him. Trust me when I tell you, this is the last place that he cares, and so he will lob at Chris Cody there. Season's over. Everyone's laughing at you. You had the Jets last night. That's his defense, that you bet the Jets. And he is going to get buried today. Everyone is laughing at his team today. He is tired of this team, instead of expectations, bringing laughter from the universe.
A classic win-win situation for Chris Cody last night. Dan, they've been laughing at me and my team for 40 years. We're terrible.
But Stugotz for a while now has not allowed us to hurt him here. He's a New Yorker in Miami. Dolphins and Jets have gone back and forth for so long. It's the only rivalry the Dolphins actually have anymore. We've got all the New Yorkers down here more than ever. They're buying all the expensive houses. They're making property values go up. They're all down here. These are the franchises that hate each other. None of them have mattered. Tua has that day. And wait till you hear how Jets fans will laugh if he gets hurt in Game 2.
Well, they still have the Tua versus the haters rivalry, which might supplant the Jets at some point. But I actually think this was a bit of a 4D chess from Aaron Rodgers. Because now if you Google Aaron Rodgers 9/11, we have a new top result.
I want to get to the top 5 most redundant jokes you heard on the internet, because to answer Chris Cody's question, can you laugh at injuries? The internet exists to laugh at what happened last night, inappropriately, without rules. The internet doesn't have to adhere to cancel culture norms. What happens immediately is everyone goes for not only jokes, but the same joke. You've got a lot of inappropriate jokes on the internet. Do we have a top 5 list of the top 5 jokes everyone told so many times last night that I got tired of hearing the top 5 jokes?
So, yeah, we do have a list, and they're all in poor taste. We'll throw up on the screen. We have the most used one right now, which is the George W. Bush meme, being informed that Aaron Rodgers is down. Also, you've got Vaxxed, worst tragedy on 9/11 involving Jets in New York. You have the highlights of Aaron Rodgers' Jets season, which is just him running out with the flag. You have, did he consult his doctor, Joe Rogan? Will he treat it with ivermectin? So you've got a lot of easy jokes that people made at his expense.
This is the thing, though. This is one of the other things that makes it just super dark comedy. That was a cool moment with the American flag. And do you know what a battering that flag has taken in that sport and in this country? So much so that at this point, I'm dead serious about what I'm telling you. If someone's got one of those on their truck, I'm not really sure what they're about. And so that flag is something that I'm
kind of sure, though.
That flag is
more sure than ever.
Okay. Regardless, what I'm telling you is my feelings about that flag have taken a real battering over the last 6 years, and in that league since Kaepernick knelt before it. And yet I too was moved. Like, I know who it is that's carrying that flag, holding it as a symbol for America. And that relationship was ours, and it's now McAfee's. And there's a whole lot there in the politics of that. One of those shows now at ESPN. What happened to the Aaron Rodgers show? Is he still going to do that on Tuesdays?
Oh,
I mean, they announced Saban and Rodgers is back to a lot of fanfare, and that
Bad
looks a
timing.
little bit different right now. I do want to remind people the history as Aaron Rodgers ran out with the American flag, which should just be a sign of unity. But on that day,
it should be a beautiful moment, and I was moved by it. I need to say that on the front end before I go to the jokes. Like, I want people to understand that I don't think that there's anything better with sports than patriotism. I love when people care like that and it feels like the country's united. It doesn't happen very often. For it to happen around sports, George Bush did it with a first pitch 20 years ago.
He did, Dan. That moment, 40 years of being a Jet fan, I will tell you that moment was the greatest moment I've had in 40 years. And the first 3 plays, those were the second greatest moments I've had.
You spent,
I was so excited. I was so looking forward to see what this would look like and to be stripped of that opportunity, because you would agree, as funny as last night was, and I understand why people are laughing at the Jets. I get it, and you should laugh at the Jets, okay? The funnier way for that to play out is for Aaron just to play and for the Jets to be really bad and for him to be really bad, right? Then they're laughing at me for 18 weeks.
Oh, but I don't think that was
Stugotz, this will go away in a week,
Stugotz, I think,
or once we get Tom Brady.
I do think that the majority of the people listening to this know. I feel like, man, that sport's got a lot of uncertainty. But I felt like we could say this with confidence. If Aaron Rodgers was healthy, the Jets were going to be good. Hard stop.
Yeah.
And that's what is such a bludgeoning blow to a fan base who is not unlike the Lions, but look at how the Lions started their season. And look at how the Jets are starting the season. The best quarterback they have ever had. The most expectations they have ever had. To have it go down like that on the turf, that we have to have a conversation about. We do, because the Super Bowl players couldn't stand up and nobody cares, and one of their star players just went down, and they've
changed the turf. Just so you know.
I know, but it just
but it's still bad. And that if you watch that
Dan Le
injury back,
Batard said that turf is dangerous. He said it right. And if he was there, I'm convinced this does not happen to Aaron Rodgers.
And for whatever reason, when it comes to the correlation between the ground up tire bits that are in NFL turf, you don't hear as much about it being carcinogenic as you do for Little League soccer and all that. But there are really damning studies on how dangerous those tire bits are for your body. And unfortunately, it might not be for an entire generation until we see what the true problem is. It might go far more dangerous than just the Achilles. But I do want to go back to that moment that unified everybody with Aaron Rodgers running out of the tunnel. And I do wish, I don't think that Aaron Rodgers has actually been questioned about Deshaun Kaiser's comments from about a year ago. Because I Googled to see if he ever was questioned about it. So right now it's just one person saying this. But Deshaun Kaiser alleged that the first time, and he said this on the Brenneman Show, that he met Aaron Rodgers disarmed him by asking, do you believe in 9/11? And Kaiser said, what? Do I believe in 9/11? Yeah, why wouldn't I? And Rodgers replied, read up on that. So to have Aaron Rodgers run out in New York City with the American flag on that day, it does pose some questions.
It's not just that it poses some questions. What are you shaking your head about, Cody?
I mean, let's be honest. Aaron Rodgers in the last few years has taken on a lot of baggage with his opinions about certain things that make him less than a universally liked guy. I mean, if you look at it from a football perspective, I love laughing inappropriately, but I can't laugh in any way at what happened, even coming from Miami where we love to hate the Jets, because we're talking about maybe a career-ending injury. And the idea that this all-time great would end his career like that is just cruelty. It's cruelty of the fates.
Aaron Rodgers, I would say, over the last years has become a fascinating and polarizing figure after deciding, and he decided this super overtly in a way that athletes of his fame rarely do. He went from hidden insurance salesman, yeah, I'll be your State Farm guy. Sure, football needs some stars. As quarterbacks change, I'll just be a commercial pitchman. Yep, no problem. I will be face of the league. He decided, nope, I'm going to let it fly with psychedelics and what I've learned and what I'm doing and what I think. And I'm no longer going to be the quarterback who stands in front of his locker and refuses to give the media anything. He has decided through family trouble and relationship trouble, as he has explored his life and gone to learn at how his family has turned him, and because he doesn't get along with his family, into the person that he is. He's having a midlife crisis as one of the all-time greats, and also a human being that you can't explain, as I think that he's better than any quarterback ever, how it is that Tom Brady won so much more than he did, so that we will never discuss Aaron Rodgers as the greatest quarterback ever. We will discuss him the way we discuss Marino, like, yeah, he was great, but why didn't he win more? For that legend to take all of those expectations to that city, New York, and to have Aaron Rodgers not be able to make the Jets better, but the Jets to finish his career in that fashion, for the Jets to swallow him, because that is in all likelihood a career-ending injury. That is in all likelihood the last play Aaron Rodgers will play. Now, he may come back to that, but I will remind you, this is a human being who's talking about retiring before having to rehab at 40, whatever an Achilles tear is. Like, he was already halfway out the door with everything that was happening to the Packers, and he spent the last couple of months telling us how joyfully happy he was to be in a new place.
You think that's the way Aaron Rodgers is going to go out?
Not a chance. He's not done, Dan.
I mean, Dan, come on. Seriously.
I'm just saying it could be because of how hard it is at the body to recover from that. I'm not saying it is.
He's going to give it a go, though, Dan.
Okay, but I'm saying,
like, if you're saying that, you don't know Aaron Rodgers. Now, listen, I thought Aaron Rodgers was Jake
Owen. Over the last few years, I don't know Aaron Rodgers. If you saw anything that happened with Aaron Rodgers, you are absolutely correct.
He's going to be just fine. He's going to come back because I'm pretty sure he restructured his contract where his base this year was like $1 million and next year he's owed like $100 million. So he's going to be coming back. Also, before the show, we were walking around talking about these injuries, and we have people that have, experience with this injury. Yeah. Tony was telling me that his dad has this injury and he's just fine, and Aaron Rodgers is going to come back.
I don't know about just fine. My dad was playing hoops, felt a kick in the back, turned around, nobody was there. It's a symptom of an Achilles tear, by the way. If you're playing basketball or any sort of sports and you feel somebody kick you and nobody's there.
Who kicked me?
That's a problem.
It's my Achilles.
But he's fine. He had surgery. Guy walking around on one crutch is fine.
I will remind you that Dan Marino came back from an Achilles injury. and did very well. Came back like
At what age?
fully
Yeah,
himself.
not at 40.
But he was 8 years younger.
Whatever you can think, whatever you like. I don't know if it's a career-ending injury or not. I just know that what is up ahead for Aaron Rodgers is going to physically hurt a great deal. And this was a person who's been telling you for a while, I'm thinking about getting to other things, and might take cues from the universe on maybe I should stop doing this, because if he had retired, you guys have questioned this, and you've been right. He hasn't been able to retire, but he spent a lot of the last few years talking about retiring. Yeah, no, of course he doesn't want to go out like that, but can you imagine how funny it has to be to anybody who hates the Jets for Aaron Rodgers to try and bring his greatness to them and have it on Monday Night Football? Aaron Rodgers said before the game, he said, nobody dreams about being on 1 o'clock games. Everyone dreams about being on Monday night. And he came out, Stugotz, on Monday night as the star of the sport with the American flag. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe a whole lot of people objected to that moment. Me personally, I couldn't get around all of what football's been the last 10 years, him included. We will not talk about Kaepernick this year, nor will we talk about...
I was just going to say, what if this is the solution? What if this is when they bring back Colin Kaepernick?
That's what Jamel...
This scenario.
That's what Jamel threw out there.
He might be on the list. I don't know.
He's available.
He is available.
I'm officially well beyond the eye roll tipping point when
There's
it comes
so
to
many
Kaepernick
weapons, though, that
suggestions.
he has there.
Right.
I can't help but laugh symbolically as art from the cosmos, comedy from the cosmos. End racism is leaving your end zone.
It hasn't, by the way. That was
It's there in
fake
Los
news.
Angeles.
It's been there. And so is it takes all of us.
Okay, it is fake news. All right, so end racism, it's not over yet. I don't believe we're going to be talking about the American flag the way we talked about the American flag when we were talking about the George Floyd stuff and football and the way football turned on Goodell, and Goodell from one moment to the next, I was wrong about everything with Kaepernick. It was just stunning to see because Mahomes said, hey, wait a minute. I see you. Hey! And then Goodell's like, okay. All right, Jerry, get out of here. Jerry, take your racism and go. Get out of here. Everybody get out of here. I'm sorry. For Aaron Rodgers particularly to be running out with the American flag, I looked at it and I'm like, NFL, you laundered your racism. You tried to do it with Pat Tillman. We wouldn't let you. You laundered it. You succeeded, NFL. You can do anything. You can do anything. The American flag now means this guy carries it out into New York. It was unbelievable. Like it's the way God would write comedy if he hated black people.
Do want to give Aaron Rodgers credit for
What are you doing to God?
he hasn't. I mean, he's been very divisive with his platform, but he answered the bell when it came to the George Floyd stuff. He totally did, and he was applauded for how he came out with his messaging for the George Floyd stuff. It was the pandemic that got everything kind of wonky, and ayahuasca.
This is another thing, though. This is like, how can you not laugh at the moment Aaron Rodgers becomes the leader of the Jets? He's out here advocating publicly for psychedelics.
That's my guy.
Yeah, we don't care about that as much anymore because he's with the Jets. He's the face of the new face of the league. Post Brady, he and Mahomes are the new face of the league. So we'll forgive the psychedelics.
This is all unfair circumstantial evidence, but anytime someone tells me about the healing power of mushrooms, I'm going to cite what's happened to Aaron Rodgers.
Hold on, there's some really good properties to mushrooms. I had some this morning, lion's mane.
Okay, Billy, let's talk about this because Tony does.
Is that why he's wearing sunglasses?
Tony grabs a lot of things that pop culture touts, and I believe that at this point, Tony would follow Uberman Lab or Huberman Lab.
Huberman, Dan.
Sorry.
Andrew Huberman. Yeah.
That's a fine.
Is it a fine? Okay, hold on a second.
$1.
But I think he's following life choices that Huberman is suggesting here. And so now you're taking some mushrooms in the morning?
Dan, I'm taking some lion's mane and take some turkey tail as well. Turkey tail? Yeah. Some great
like a
stuff.
feather?
Dan, no, it's not a feather. It's a capsule. Dan, I know you know about lion's mane and turkey
But
tail.
is it?
Don't
Wait a
play
minute.
coy
But
with me,
is
Dan.
lion's mane a psychedelic? Is it
No,
is
it's
it
not
mushroom?
psychedelic. It's
I
a
don't-
mushroom, non-psychedelic. Jake Plummer was on the show, I don't know, a year and some change ago.
I mean,
and he was talking about the healing properties of
His
turkey
are
tail.
psychedelic, okay? I mean,
No.
have you seen Jake Plummer? Like,
I have. He's a
Okay.
totally normal guy. Just like Aaron Rodgers.
Jake the Snake.
Billy?
have you seen Jake Plummer?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, continue, please. I don't.
I need go no further.
There are some people in our audience who may not know what Jake Plummer looks like these days, so you can help them because this isn't just visual and you have
He's
a
like in a
microphone.
bomb shelter somewhere in Colorado where he's growing a bunch of mushrooms that he then tells us are not psychedelics, but they seem very clearly to not be psychedelics.
There's a lot of judging books by the cover when it comes to mushrooms, and I'm sure people feel
Agreed.
passionately about all of this, but there has never been a time ever where someone has told me, where someone has espoused the virtues of mushrooms to me, where I'm like, you know what? This person has it all figured out. I'm gonna trust them with this. Not once.
Greg Cody, your thoughts from last night. Obviously, anyone can say it was a disaster. What thoughts did you have? What observations did you have that you weren't seeing elsewhere? And what do you want to know about Stugotz's genuine feelings here? Because Stugotz will try to hide from us all show, and we cannot allow it.
I'm still focused on mushrooms. I love mushrooms so
Attaboy.
much.
Yeah.
When did mushrooms become a psychedelic? Can't I just saute them in butter and olive
Beginning of
oil?
time,
and,
probably.
and a little garlic. That's right, Roy.
Yeah.
And enjoy them. I mean, when did the mushroom become usurped and taken over by the psychedelic industry? It's
Good cream of mushroom.
And a cream of mushroom.
Oh,
soup, by the way.
Delightful.
Yeah.
That sounds like a
fantastic.
back in my day, Greg. Do you have one today?
No, I don't. As a matter of fact, because
Oh,
it's
man.
we're still in Suey week, and
Right.
there's this.
It's not Suey. It's not Suey week anymore. We're going to have the winners at some point today. But
Oh, so it's not Suey week, even though we have the winners today, which is
Right.
the ultimate. Today is the grand finale, the crescendo of the Sueys, but it's not Suey week.
Right.
But
How is that
It is
possible?
Weird.
Tuesday.
Do it
and
next week,
You're,
then.
you're being
Yeah.
paid now for back in my day being every Tuesday.
Am I being paid?
You are, yes.
Really?
Right.
Yes.
But outside of Suey Week.
Your,
Right,
Your,
yeah.
your wife, who is trying to make you overdose and kill you,
Right.
knows that you're being paid for that. She's the one that handles all
We
this
kind of
stuff.
glossed over that.
Which part?
The fact that his wife's trying to murder him,
Well,
apparently.
yeah, we'll get
Oh,
to
yeah,
it in a
that's right,
second.
yeah.
We're not going to get to his Jets thoughts because
Right.
clearly he doesn't have any interest
Well,
in
he's
ones.
thinking about
Well, it's-
mushrooms.
it's
No,
Suey week, yeah.
I think the,
Sauté.
the Jets defense will make them a competitive team.
No, it's okay. I don't need your thoughts now. I wanted your thoughts before. I don't want
okay,
them
10
anymore.
seconds later.
Well, what
you don't want
happened?
I don't.
thoughts. Okay,
I
fine.
wanted the thoughts, and he didn't have any. He gave me mushroom
Okay,
thoughts.
and then
which-
I could get into fried mushrooms as well. They're fantastic. I mean, I don't want to plug a certain place I go to get the best fried mushrooms in South Florida, but fried mushrooms are underrated. Everybody talks about fried chicken and chicken. Fried mushrooms are the way to go.
You're talking about Duffy's?
Talk about an appetizer. You said it. I didn't. Talk about an appetizer.
Duffy's.
I'm
Put
trying
it-
to
They
get
have
them as a
fried
guest on the
mushrooms?
Greg Cody Show podcast, so I don't want to mention them yet because we're in negotiation. But their fried mushrooms are the best. I'm talking about the best.
Duffy's.
Yeah, and they're big, man. They serve them big. You got to cut them in half. They serve them steaming, but yet crunchy. They're perfectly cooked. And they've got that two sauces on the side. My mouth is literally watering right now. That's how good
that
they
would
are.
have been a good live spot for Duffy's. Fried mushrooms. Put it on the poll, please. Are fried mushrooms underrated as an appetizer?
Totally.
Look, if you're watching on YouTube.com right now, we're going to put up a picture of Jake Plummer. Tell me that guy does not look totally normal, completely sane. Looks
minute,
like maybe
wait a
the
minute.
Nets Jets
Wait a
Jets
minute.
quarterback. I don't know.
That is the best I have seen
He's on
Jake
the list.
Plummer look in 10 years. They cleaned him up for that. That is Jake Plummer at his finest. His hair is about twice that long now. His beard is much bigger than that.
Wow.
He looks totally fried.
He's got turkey tail there in the back. You can see it because it's white.
Mike Ryan, We will talk more about the Jets today, I am sure, but I did want to come back for a moment on the Hurricanes because we did not talk about them enough over the weekend. It was a giant difference to see competent and excellent offensive line play. Before we get to the positives of football, though, something happened during that game, and we keep skipping past this stuff, and I understand it. I love football just like you do. But the Cam Kinchins thing scared the hell out of me watching it, and it's in the middle of your games and your excitement, and it's unavoidable, and it's nice that they show you a FaceTime of him smiling at the hospital so that they can heal us as much as him, because when you have those moments on the field, they're simply terrifying in a way that stick in your stomach, but the parade moves on, and the over these bodies, the parade will move on, and obviously that's an important player, but that's a human being who's in the middle of the enthusiasm who scared the holy hell out of everybody because football's insane.
It was terrifying to experience live. It certainly put a damper on everything that was going on, but thankfully reports trickled out fairly quickly that Cam had full mobility, and by the next day, word was that he was moving around normally, and they have a light part of the schedule here. I imagine they're going to take appropriate time to rest up Cam, but it appears as though he escaped severe injury, and there's talk that he's returning in a couple of weeks, which is amazing considering how scary that one moment was.
It was incredible how quickly the scare was passed, to the degree that Mario Cristobal is dancing with players in the post-game locker room, and Cristobal comes into the post-game news conference, and the first thing he says is, "How about them Hurricanes?"
Yeah.
So
kudos to them because they're very secretive, as you can tell from their press conferences now, because they're dealing with a lot of injuries on the heels of that game. Right. Mesidor, their best pass rusher, great NFL prospects for them, is dealing with an injury, and there's all sorts of ambiguity there. This is the quickest they've ever come out with injury news, and thankfully it was good news with Cam.
Yeah, because they let's put it this way, that was such a huge win for the program. They had to celebrate it. And all they needed was Cam Kinchins to wiggle a toe and wiggle a finger and have a little bit of optimism that he's going to be fine, and they were in full celebration mode. And I don't blame the club for that. Once they knew that the outlook was going to be good, they were full on, let's just celebrate what was a pretty seismic victory for the program, and well needed. Kirk Herbstreit said before the game, I don't know that any game or any coach needs this win more than Miami right now, and I don't think he was wrong.
Well, I think he was wrong in that it was the coach that ended up losing that game. And I've been very judicious with Hurricanes talk, and I've been very rational to the point that I take exception to the description of yesterday's local hour where it said Mike was excited. It should have said Mike was totally rational and only talked about the Hurricanes for 90 combined seconds. All right, but I don't want it to be like a joy suck. It's been a fun local hour. So let's laugh at Jimbo Fisher because he had two sore loser sound bites that really made me chuckle, and it also made me realize that, holy cow, Jess has an incredible Jimbo Fisher impression. First, let's hear Jimbo Fisher blame the turf for this loss.
I don't know, maybe we had the wrong cleats. I don't know. I mean, the middle of the field did slip, but they had the same guys we did. I know Connor did a couple times. He was getting ready to throw. His feet went out from under him, and that happened. What'll happen a lot of times when you play at teams that have different logos. In other words, I say multiple teams play at a sport. They change that logo out. Well, when they do that, they change that grass has to be interchanged. So that's usually done on a very quick. And then plus their stadium, those stadiums that have that half. Don't get the sunlight to dry out, and then you had the rain, and plus, and you'll wet that part to make that grass take, and it makes that slick, and then you'll paint on the emblem. And when you have to take stadiums, and in my history of it, they always do that. You'll have a lot of some of those issues occasionally in that situation, and that seemed to what happened.
Sure.
Oh my God, they're paying him so much money to make excuses.
That was pretty incredible. Now, most people watching on TV didn't know that every time Miami took the field on offense, we did actually switch out the midfield logo so we could have an advantage there. Also, as I'm one to do after a big win, is I love to listen to opposing losing podcasts. And I actually did listen to a bunch of Texas A&M podcasts. And the funny thing was, they all said they slipped a bunch last week too. So maybe it is the cleats. But if you thought the excuses ended there was an important 2-point conversion that the play got blown up. And here's Jimbo's excuse for that.
Yeah, the ball they clapped. Well, they simulated our snap count, and our guys heard the clap, and they snapped the ball. We had a whole play we had to play, like a goal line play, and what happened, the ball got snapped early because they simulated the snap count and clapped their hands and snapped the ball.
That was for the record. That was a 4th and short where they had a procedure call. They went from a touchdown situation to kicking a field goal, and he is claiming, and teams do this, that the secondary of the Hurricanes was clapping to simulate the clap, but he was. You need to score there. You need to score touchdowns there. You need to win the game. Like, you can't make it about claps. Nobody wants to hear about claps.
Back to the turf. The Dolphins haven't played at the stadium since August 11th. Yeah, what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah, but I mean,
practices,
they got the ceiling, and he's played there plenty.
Right.
So I've actually, in searching for this video, I searched Jimbo Fisher snap and clap, and apparently this is one of his go-tos. Every year, every time they lose, it's like the opposing defenders are out there simulating. So I actually saw the video, and it's literally a safety clapping at his corner, like, hey,
right.
Like, there isn't a single, like, clap or anything like that. It's just a defender clapping. And over there, and also, who the bleep cares? That is a terrible excuse. They're paying him so much money.
I love that he has stock excuses, though. It's great.
We can indeed make this, if you want, about turf and claps. But what I was watching during that game and in the first week after the Miami of Ohio coach says after the game, you don't hear this a lot. Good God, we were beat up. We were physically beat up. Something that I am seeing, and it's relatively rare, I would say, when you're watching football to see a difference from one year to the other in the place that I'm about to tell you. They had a play, Stugotz, and this is timing. This is not necessarily about strength necessarily, because kickoffs aren't always about strength. But I'm also not used to a Brashard Smith running 98 yards right up the middle of your field, untouched, easy and clean, because what's like not untouched up the middle of the field, not a move, just catch a kickoff, go. And it makes me wonder, just generally watching this team, not that play, though that play too, that mustachioed crazy person that they have as a strength coach on that team that visually looks amazing and is teaching these people to be stronger. I can't believe I'm saying it through 2 games. I can't measure this for you in any discernible way, but to my eye, just like I look at Zach Wilson and I'm like, oh my God, that's a scared boy's head on an adult quarterback's body.
1-0.
I am looking at one of the differences that I saw between college-faced pimple people that Deion kicked out of that room. When I saw Deion in the room talking about the luggage, and I'm looking at the players he's talking to, those are kids. Kids don't play at the top of this sport. They don't look like kids playing at the very top of this sport. And I think I physically see, maybe my eyes are lying to me, a stronger University of Miami football team, physically stronger.
You're seeing a different University of Miami football team because there's 40 new players. We turned the roster over, and yes, some of the players have grown and developed inside the strength and conditioning program. A lot of players have put on 30-plus pounds since getting into it, but also we've recruited bigger, meatier men. And you saw that. And I think for Jimbo, the biggest indictment is they've had a 4-year head start on their program over there at Texas A&M. 2 years ago, they had the most celebrated recruiting class of all time. And Miami lapped them. Miami bullied them. Miami's definitely on the right path. And they got to the right path way quicker than Jimbo.
When you can be stronger than an SEC team, this is where you need to play. When you can be physically stronger than an SEC team.
Another thing crazy about Jimbo Fisher making excuses is that Miami gifted Texas A&M the first 2 touchdowns with special team mistakes. This was, by all intents and purposes, a 48-17 type route. That's the way it should have been. That was the disparity in these 2 teams.
One of the things that was jarring to me, though, because we talked about this yesterday, Stugotz, to watch an Alabama game and to be like, oh, they're not just stronger than everybody anymore. I don't mean stronger as in better. I just mean, oh, they're not actually physically much stronger
Texas
than
is, yeah.
But on top of that, wow, a lot of breakdowns on defense. Who's their defensive coordinator? Mario Cristobal got it right. The coordinators are gone. Maryland already wants Gaddis out. I mean, Bama's irate about their DC. Mario Cristobal realized he made a mistake with his hires, and he turned it around.
And Nick Saban's NFL quarterback streak has ended. They just don't have the quarterback.
This is the new and unimproved Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.